just gonna stay the same always. Oh, and we are live. Oh God, we are live. So, good
Lovely.
morning, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world, beautiful souls. I'm really happy, excited. We are on the book tour of Boomerizing the Power of Becoming. And today, yet again, I have with me an amazing, wonderful soul who is one of the contributing authors to the book. I would love to warmly welcome Maggie Englander with me today.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, everyone, for watching us. It's such a great pleasure to be part of it. And yes, I'm looking forward to the next step. So thank you very much for inviting me. And I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Well, Maggie is not new to the Truth Runner Short Talk Show, but you guys, if you are watching this for the first time, I would love to take the opportunity to introduce her to you because she's phenomenal. Also, please remember, if you are watching now or in the replay, please let us know from where you are tuning in if you feel inclined to do so. And also during the show, ask any questions you might have. We are going to do our best, to answer to that. So Maggie Englander, she is a health and self-regulation coach and she's a transformational consultant who supports adults who live with long-term health conditions and those with ADHD in English to develop self-regulation, rebuild identity beyond diagnosis, and design a life that works with their nervous system. Her work complements medical care, focuses on practical self-management and work with future self. It also focuses on releasing embedded subconscious patterns and impacting our mental and physical health. Maggie is a lived experience informed health educator and guide who understands identity loss, silence, nervous system collapse, and the process of becoming whole again. Her work is rooted in a deep understanding of identity, nervous system safety, and the process of becoming oneself again after years of silence or illness. And thank you for that, Maggie, because I'm just going to say that so many things that you are doing, I'm doing, and it resonates with me because you are talking about nervous system regulation, about working with future self, and it's that's a great and beautiful work. But before we dive in the conversation, I would love to ask you, how are you feeling today?
Well, I believe that life is teaching me lessons all the time, and I'm simply receiving it to pass on. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be here because I'm not here just for myself. I'm here for everyone who is tuning in, who is watching us, who is going to be buying our books to empower their lives as well. So I'm very grateful and I'm happy and I'm feeling at peace with myself that I'm on the right path um, of my life and with amazing skills that I have of pulling everyone up alongside.
Oh, thank you. That was wonderful. I'm feeling grateful too. And I know that, you remember when I invited everybody, to be contributing authors to the book. I said to you, if you remember, I don't want this to be perfect. And I don't
Yes.
want any of the books, any of the chapters, any of my podcast, anything. From now on, I decided I don't want to be perfect, but I want to be impactful. And reading your chapter, and the other ladies, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. Because nowadays we are surrounded in media, in social media, and if you want to have conversation around this with so many things where we are taught that you are only good enough if you have this certain skill. You are you are only beautiful if you wear the certain makeup. Heck no. Our beauty comes from within. I don't need a makeup for that. I don't need a makeup to smile. Yes, I can, if I choose to do so. But yes, and you were talking that, we were saying that you also work on nervous system regulation, right?
Yeah.
And you are working with people who had long term illnesses and stuff like that, okay? But
Yes.
I would love to ask you first of all about you. Okay? Yeah, no, really. Because each and every one of us who are on this path, we had certain patterns what we followed, certain inner beliefs about ourselves that we are in a certain way. Okay? What inner belief or pattern, I'm sure many of them, but pick one what you had to release in order for you to be the Maggie who is today. Peaceful, knowing that she's on the right path. It wasn't always like this. It wasn't always like this for me.
Yeah,
So
no,
what
that's true.
belief you had to release in order to be who you are today?
Well, there's much I can say about it, and definitely my chapter of the book reflects my journey and my what I love about the book is that we're not talking through prism of being a coach, consultant, or mentor. It's just all based on our fantasy of being who we are under all the layers of societal expectations, of the roles that we have to play or perform kind of like on a daily basis. And just it's just amazing, and the book really is reflecting our journey, and as you said, and releasing certain patterns from our subconscious minds. It's quite, I always, people who know me well, they know that I thrive when I'm having in my hands client with complex needs. And part of it is that it's a reflection of my journey. It's a reflection of what I gone through what I experience, and having the skills of helping others is just amazing. What I release, out of my subconscious mind is the pressure of having to deliver, pressure of expectations that people were putting on me, not even knowing, not being even aware of their own doings. People who for generations been behaving certain ways, been doing certain things, and by having the newborns in society, everything is being put upon them. So the book is more about how I was finding myself, unwiring myself from societal expectations, releasing the the pain and the feeling of a guilt of doing it, and owning my truth and owning who I am. So funny enough, you said about makeup, and I'm the youngest out of three sisters, and I'm the one who never wears makeup.
Neither do I.
I never wear makeup. I was always uh, I don't know, my parents, my sisters, my friends doing makeup, everything. I knew from a very, very early childhood I wanted people to know through me. And I perceived makeup as a cover that people were masking themselves behind. And I never wanted to have such. So it was leading to moments of me feeling very isolated, feeling that no one really understood who I was, till I realized that the most important is that I knew who I was. And
Love that.
thank you. And that
No, I love
really
that. You know
chapter.
why? You know why, Maggie? And I'm sorry for cutting you. It's really rude of me, but saying that I know who I am, and that's the most important thing. And you said that we are under so much pressure. People expecting, they have expectations, and if you don't meet their expectations, then you are not good enough anymore, right? And we are trying to fit in these expectations. And then about the makeup, just for example, right? You wear it because you think that, but truth is, if I know from within who I am, I'm not gonna look anymore for external validation. I don't give a shit, excuse my language, about it.
Yes, it's not that easy for many of my clients who really for different reasons, countless factors, they lost themselves, they lost their identity, they lost themselves, they don't know who they are. So, for example, recently I was coaching one lady and she was in her late 40s. And one of the basic questions I asked her was, could you just tell me who you are? So she described all the roles that she had in life. She described her work duties very precisely. But when I asked, okay, I know what your husband would tell me, or I know what your boss would tell me, or your children, but please tell me who you are under all those layers. She became tearful. She didn't know the answer. She said that she feels that she lost herself and she really even struggles to admit kind of like to herself that she has certain needs because she was always prioritizing everyone else. And that's what my story is about as well. And so I can resonate with it. And yes, and with what you're saying, Christine, as well.
Thank you, Maggie. And you guys, I'm smiling now, really. And I smile because I exactly know what Maggie's talking about. And we had such similar paths. We both come from Eastern Europe. We both come with the same baggage. We both come with the same thing. Eastern Europe is like a special, very interesting place to be born, right? And the reason why I'm smiling is because when you when we get to have that self-awareness already, then we can look to life, to certain challenges with a different eye, from a completely different angle. But to get here, to be able to smile on that, and to be able to talk about everything what happened to us without attaching any emotion to it at all, just simply telling the story without being triggered by it anymore,
Yes,
that's a long journey.
yes,
That's
exactly.
that's what I call is the journey of becoming. It's the journey of transformation. And I'm not saying that Maggie or me or any of the other beautiful, really amazing souls who wrote in the book, we don't have challenges. We do. We have, triggers. We have our stuff. But the difference is that along the way, and correct me if I'm wrong, Maggie, we learned how to stand up faster, how to recognize the triggers faster, and on the same time we learned how to love ourselves better.
Yes, exactly. It's about, I spent half of my life in dismissal of everything, suppressing all the emotions, because, as you said, being born in Poland, I'm proud to be Polish.
Yeah,
Poland is a beautiful country, and Hungary, where you come from as well.
I was
But
born in
not being,
Romania. I love Romania. I love
yes,
Transylvania. Thank you
Romania.
very much. Give me a lot, but I also had to heal a lot.
Yes, exactly. It's when I was born, it was communist country, and I treated as a humble beginning leading to lots of unwiring things that I had to do because of that, but also leading to really appreciating life now. Because I remember we didn't have, let's say, we couldn't have passports at home.
Yeah,
We couldn't travel abroad. So now any trip is a blessing. Any trip is hooray. We can go on adventure. We can learn certain things.
true.
I remember being little and looking at everyone and asking my parents, why everyone is white? Why everyone speaks the same language and looks the same? I was always intrigued with what is out there, what is out there that I might be potentially missing out on. So now living in England and being surrounded with variety of the diversity of society as well as the as my clients is just giving me this fulfillment and this satisfaction that probably I wouldn't have had if I wasn't born in communist country. So yes, it's lots lots to unwire in us, but at the same time, lots of great, wonderful fundaments that we have by being born where we were born in Romania and Poland. Yes.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Can you imagine? So I was born in Romania, exactly as you said. Same color, same language. Okay, two languages. But then I moved to Hungary. I lived there for 40 years. Again, same color. And then when we came to London, it was like I dare to say that a cultural shock. It was a culture, and I was like, okay, what's happening? people of different colors, smells of different, food of different, and religions and everything. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my
Yeah.
God. So I felt a little bit overwhelming at the beginning. I don't
Yeah.
know about you, but the more I stayed here, I was like, oh, I can learn from this, I can learn from that. And this is exactly, England gave me a lot, really. London gave me a lot. A lot of
Yeah.
good, a lot of bad, a lot of ups and downs because we have that all the time. But again, this helped me, and I dare to say help you in our, in this journey of transformation, really. So,
Yes, I think it's powerful what you're saying about, just being exposed to diversity in order to start transforming ourselves. But I would say to it that what's also important is to really finding who we are,
yes,
because from the moment we were born, we're fulfilling someone's needs, we're
exactly.
fulfilling people's expectations. Me being the youngest in my family, I love my parents, I love my sisters, but being the youngest, I had a certain role to play. And I couldn't be, for example, I couldn't be dictating my older sister what to do and how to do things. I was the one who had to obey, and I was the one who had to listen.
I'm sorry, I'm on the other side because I'm the oldest.
So it's really understanding, who we are, and it's quite challenging.
It is.
It's challenging because if we were left by ourselves, it would be different. But because we are surrounded, as you said, with social media, with subconscious comparison
Programming.
with everyone else, uh, and with the pressure of life, with the pressure of things that we need to do every day, uh, it's so easy, unfortunately, to forget about what matters, the most in our lives. And so this book is just a reflection of, as you said, not being perfect, but being ourselves. And I would probably we come to it, but as I said, it's not about, I was writing a book, not about, it's with the aim of touching hearts of
Yes.
our readers,
Yeah.
what the readers could, what stories the readers could link themselves, just kind of like just to help them to uncover the inner strengths and resources that they have, but perhaps are not aware of, just to move them on and just to show the beauty of life, which uh, sometimes is not as obvious as we would have hoped for.
That's true. Oh, that's so true. And with that being said, I would love to remind you guys that the book is going to be launched on the 20th of January, so 4 more days until that. So stay tuned. A couple of new announcements and the link, where you can buy the book is going to come up on the 20th. And I really would love to encourage you to buy the book. It's not because you're gonna make somebody rich, but because your life will be richer. Your life will be richer by reading the chapters of Maggie's, of all the ladies, and I'm telling you, it's all empowering. And I'm gonna again and over again just repeat myself. It's not from the coach perspective. It's not from the woman, who runs the podcast. It's the raw truth. It's our stories. It's the story how what determined us, to come here to share the story. And I would love to ask you here, Maggie, as well, what made you come on this journey thinking that, okay, I would love to serve others. I would love to go on this path. You could be anyone else. You could choose any other profession. Yet we are doing what we are doing, working with others, helping, inspiring others, and that's beautiful.
I remember growing up, and I was always, it was very interesting experience, because whenever people were asking me what I would like for Christmas or for birthday when I was like at primary school, I never wanted materialistic things. I was always saying that I want everyone to be happy. I want, and then when I was at secondary school, I wanted to read people's mind. I wanted to know what's happening in
In
people's
their
mind.
mind.
And it's, and and again, it's not a chapter to please my ego. It's not the chapter just to for recognition, anything like this. Is another source of amazing opportunities to empower people who read it. And many people may say, oh, we are fine with our lives. What we need to read the book for,
Yeah,
or this is someone else's stories.
true.
What I would learn from it, I have my life, to live. So this is something that I especially prepared for the interview for the readers. And I'm going to read it. So when you hear real stories from a real woman, something shifts. You realize you are not alone. You see yourself reflected. You find language for things you felt but never voiced. Stories don't tell us who to be. They remind us of who we already are. By listening to our stories, you don't receive instructions. You receive permission. Permission to question, grow, heal, laugh, and become. And if you don't tune in, if you don't open yourself to this conversation, you don't just miss a podcast or a book. You miss the chance to recognize part of yourself in someone else's journey. And sometimes the story you skip is the very one that could have helped you move forward.
Oh, thank you, Maggie. I appreciate that, and that is so true because, and I agree with you, and I agree with what you said. Why would I buy your book? Why would I read your story? It's true, it's yours. But you know what? I realized along my own journey, right, that reading other people's story, maybe I'm not resonating with the whole thing, but there is a part which says, and then I had a, oh, okay. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, that's what I could try. That's what I would love to try. Or, maybe not the whole story, but maybe just part of it. Or maybe the whole thing. It can literally change somebody's life.
Yeah,
And
I don't know whether our audience knows, but in Denmark, they introduce live libraries. So they're replacing books with live people who sitting in the libraries and sharing their own stories.
oh wow.
It's the books are fantastic. There's lots of great things I can say, about just kind of like reading a book. But however, when you read a book, after hearing someone, you can, after kind of like knowing who the someone is, and then read the book, it's kind of like is such a uh, immersive experience
It's
of,
true.
and especially when you can relate to it. So, for example, like if that lady who I was coaching, I know that she was going to buy the book, so she won't be asking questions and paying for expensive sessions, asking kind of like questions who she is or being tearful, because the book will be the first step for her to recognize her own patterns, just to see how much more insightful she could be to heal herself, to grow. And then she can come again on the session with me and tell me, Maggie, I know exactly who I am. I remember you asked me the question, I didn't know the question, but after reading the books, after reading all the other co-authors, chapters, I know it's going to be mind-blowing experience for anyone.
Oh wow, thank you, Maggie. That's wonderful. And remember, ladies, if you are listening this or watching now or in the replay, everything comes from within. Truth to be told, you have within you everything what you need in order to rise, to succeed, to transform. Everything is within you. By reading the stories, or listening to a podcast, or, maybe working with a mentor or a coach, it just helps you. What we do, we just help you bring everything what's within you already to the surface. Because you know it already. You are that person already. But you just, I know from myself. I wish that someone would be there, to help me understand what's going on, make me, just explain it to me. And I had to do it on my own. And that's hard. It takes longer. It's But when you have someone with you, you have a book, you have a podcast, you have something to listen, you have someone to talk to, that is going to make a huge difference.
Yes, with the book, you can take a book anywhere, anywhere and everywhere with you. So, and it's just such a easy little thing to have to back you up every single time you keep asking questions about reality and yourself. So, yeah, I cannot wait.
Honestly, me too, Maggie. I would love to ask you that if a woman right now is listening in the middle of her own transformation, in the middle of her own becoming, right? What is it that you would love to tell her?
Listen to yourself, not to everyone else. It's not about what you need, what you should, what you have to. It's about what is really embedded with you and what's your gut instinct and subconscious mind supporting you to do.
Oh, thank you. That's beautifully said. Really just trust yourself, listen to yourself, and listen to your intuition. Because I learned, and most likely I dare to say Maggie learned along the way, that our intuition is our best guide. But unfortunately, we grow up, they teach us to suppress that intuition. And when we do things, 99.9% of the time we do from ego. And when we do from ego, that's when the overthinking starts, that's when the complication starts, that's when the questioning yourself starts. Don't stop questioning yourself, because your
Exactly.
intuition is always right.
And I was having a client this morning and we were talking about that it's just so important to be working for our body rather than against it. So really understanding, how intuitive we are accordingly to our energy levels, to our cognitive abilities, to really our desires, and really with kind of like who we are, rather than putting things in place that is destroying our soul, that destroying our bodies. Because for example, I've been working lots with people with different addictions, and they were helping themselves, so for example to numb pain or
Yeah.
to numb memories, and that's why they were doing it. But then I think with my support, we're just changing and providing something beautiful in place instead of the addictions, something that wasn't giving the side effects, the health complications that they were experiencing. So yes, I think trusting yourself and finding the right kind of like solutions, having a book and having coach, that's, beautiful thing to have.
Oh, thank you, Maggie, for sharing that. I appreciate, because your body never lies. Really, your body never lies. So I would love to remind you guys again that the book is coming out on the 20th of January. And before we close today's live, I would love to ask you, Maggie, what are you becoming in your next chapter of your life?
I was, what can I say to it? I was having conversation with one of my best friends yesterday, and he said that he's been always in awe for how much I do, how many clients I see, and what I'm managing
I'm
to do
you
in my
do a
life.
lot. I'm sorry, but I mean sometimes I mean, oh my God, Maggie's doing, and just
And
I'm sorry for cutting you out, but you guys have to know that Maggie helped, I think not hundreds, but really thousands already during her practice. She worked with quite a lot of people already on this journey, so
yes,
I really need to say that.
and he asked me when I will know that I reach my top, when I will know that I've done everything that I had. And I explained to him that I feel very loved by God. I feel that all the gifts and talents that are being sent to me for a good reason. And if I'm not sharing them with others, I'm not fulfilling my human mission on earth. And therefore I don't think that I will ever reach my top. I will always provide and I will always look after others, because I never want anyone else to face darkness alone as I did in the past.
Oh, thank you, Maggie, and thank you for who you are. Thank you for really
Thank
just
you.
being yourself. And I'm gonna close the live as soon as you tell me what is one word that comes in your mind right now.
Um, when you start asking this question, what word came to me was unconditional love.
Beautiful.
That's yes, unconditional love that I have for people and for myself, and it wasn't that easy to find it, but I did. And once again, I would invite everyone to purchase and read the book.
Thank you. Thank you very much from the
Thank you.
bottom of my heart. It was an honor for you to be, being here with me today. I really appreciate it. I would love to say thank you for each and every one of you who watched today now the live or you are going to watch in the replay. Until next time, I'm sending you lots of love and light, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.